What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, back in Model Railway Easily. Um, Doing some more work, starting to get into some of the detailing um, up in the corner near the church. Decided to do a small factory back there, going to do kind of a dirt road back there, and then a small dirt road in between the factory and I think that's a general store. And then I decided I did want to put a house over here, and I was going to put it kind of on an inlet there, and then decided to raise it up a little bit, and kind of do a cliffside house. So somebody's got a nice little house there on the cliff overlooking the lake. I do need to take the lake out towards the front underneath the train tracks there. I did decide that I did want to do that. Haven't done it just yet. But go through and put some rocks around it, making it kind of a very nice cliffside look to it. And then do some trees and a nice little road to it. Do some work with some of the ferns versus some of the regular hedge bushes. I like the way the ferns look a little bit better than the hedges, and it kind of works a little bit better. They're a little bit brighter than I would like them to be, but it's okay. It'll work. I do some terrain paint as well. I do opt for the darker color grass than the brighter grass that's currently there, because I think it looks more natural. Uh, Using the ferns there to just kind of cover up some of the little imperfections within the between the edges and the rock face. Try a couple of the other trees, and some of them are just absolutely massive, like higher than building kind of tall, and it didn't feel right. But we come through, put some trees. I'm gonna forest this a little bit more on both sides. So here I just do a bunch of just a big swath of the darker paint, and then I come through and just do some dark lights, whatever the opposite of highlights are. We'll go with dark lights. Come in here, do kind of a dirt path around the side of the house there. Add a couple trash cans. I put a truck there, and then kind of a path from the road to the cabin, and so it kind of has at least a way to get there. And using the blend tool, just kind of blending the road all the way down through. Come through and do blend paint, but then I think I do go back and do some just regular flat paint because then it blends better than that. If you do the flat paint, then you can actually use the gradient blend a little bit better, and it blends a little bit better, a little bit like that. Come through. I tried the brown, didn't like it. Ended up going with the darker color, and I think the darker color looks a little bit better. Kind of blends into the water a lot better. So here, doing a little bit of blending, trying to get it to come to the surface, and then it blends a little bit better with the rocks there as well. And then just come through, do all the dark paint or the darker grass all the way around the top, and we'll go back through and add in some highlights and whatnot. Now I kind of focus on the area near the hotel and the church with the terrain paint. I realized I painted over all the cobblestone, but using the cobblestone paint, I can go through and using the blend option, I can kind of feather the edges a little bit, which I'm doing right here to give it, kind of a little overgrown look. Like some of it's been taken care of, but grass and weeds kind of got to it, and so it looks a little bit more natural. Do some darkening and then start adding in. Oh, I do add some of the bushes in, and then start using the trees. Just drop a bunch of them. Start with the hill there on the back, and then I start trying to copy paste because make it a little bit faster. But then somehow some disappeared. I just don't know where they disappeared to, and I don't see them anywhere. So yeah, I don't know why they disappeared. I think it's just whenever you copy them, it places them, and if it places it too far off the board, then it just disappears. Yeah, I tried one of the tall ones there, and it's taller than the 3-story hotel, and it just didn't feel right. But I do place a couple people within the station platform itself. That was a little bit of a fiasco, just because the benches and the people just kind of sunk down into oblivion. And whenever I tried to raise them, they just kept on sinking back into the platform itself. And I did end up losing one of the benches at one point. I fought with the terrain underneath it, hoping I could raise the terrain so it sits on the train and then just sink the station down a little bit. And somehow I managed to get it to at least work. So yeah, there goes one of the benches. Didn't help that the train kept on coming by. I debated about stopping the train, but never actually did. Um, but yeah, here you can see the benches are just kind of sinking down into the station. Tried raising and lowering the station, that didn't work. So I went through and tried to raise the terrain and then sink the station down into it, but that didn't work either. Somehow managed to get water underneath the station. I got most of it covered back up. There's a little spot on the back side of it that I do end up coming through with some ferns and just kind of covering it up a little bit with the ferns. But yeah, trying to place the benches a little difficult because of the train, the trees on the other side of the tracks, and just getting everything to kind of just line up. Add a trash can on there. I end up taking out all of the concrete right here. And again, going with terrain paint underneath it and just kind of feathering the edges. Just give a little bit more of a kind of a worn look. And then doing a little bit of terrain paint to the door of the station. Yeah, you can see the water there. And just drop a plant or two over it and fill that corner with some trees as well. And end up going through and adding some street lamps kind of down the main strip towards the hotel. And I like the way it looks. Kind of wish there was a day-night cycle, but that might be asking a bit much. But yeah, just add a few more trees and then the lamp posts, and that's pretty much what we get done this episode. So got a few highlights after this, but thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for being here and look forward to seeing you guys again in Model Railway easily soon. And as always, hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic day.